Hello, welcome back to National IAS Academy. Dear students, in our new initiative that is Focus 300, we have so far completed 7 classes covering 70 most important topics for the upcoming UPSC Civil Services Examination Prelims, which shall be held on 28th of May 2023. For those who are new and watching our channel for the first time, please note that Focus 300 is a free of cost initiative by National IAS Academy, and this initiative shall run for 30 days. Every day, one video shall be posted covering 10 most important topics. So, by the end of the 30th day, you would have covered 300 most important topics which are highly relevant for the upcoming UPSC Civil Services examination. All right, these are the next 10 most important topics relevant for your prelims. First one is about hybrid sounding rocket. See, the title might appear very difficult to understand, but break it down. Hybrid is a separate word and sounding is a separate word. If you're able to understand these two words independently, then this topic is understood. First, I'll tell you the context. So, some private players or a private entity recently launched India's first hybrid sounding rocket from where? From a region known as Pattipulam, which is in Tamil Nadu. See, here are three important facts, four important facts. That is, first one is private players have launched this rocket. What kind of rocket is it? It is India's first hybrid sounding rocket. From where? From Pattipulam. Where is Pattipulam located? It's in Tamil Nadu. These are four important points that you need to remember from prelims perspective. Right. So then what next? We should understand the meaning of hybrid sounding rocket. All right. So what do you mean by sounding? See, sounding rockets are those rockets which are usually used to measure a few data in upper atmosphere or space. Okay, it is also a rocket, but this rocket or this sounding rocket is particularly used for measuring various data with respect to atmosphere or space and nothing else. These are not used to launch any satellite or heavy instruments. Please remember, such kind of lightweight rockets are known as sounding rockets. And you might obviously get one question, that is, why do we call these rockets as sounding rockets? See, there's an explanation behind this. Imagine this is a boat. In ancient times, whenever people used to travel in oceans and seas, they always wanted to measure the depth of that particular water body. So, to measure the depth, what they used to do, they used to hang a pulley over their boat, and through this pulley, they used to let a rope down, and to the end of this rope, a solid rock or weight was attached. So, this by using this method, they used to understand the depth of the water. They were able to successfully measure the depth of water, and this process was called as sounding. Please remember, this process was called as sounding, and the same nomenclature has been used here too, that is sounding. But here the scientists or researchers are not measuring the depth of water. Instead, they are using this rocket or concept to understand various dimensions with respect to the space or upper atmosphere. All right, then what do you mean by hybrid? Hybrid means it's a mix of what? Mix of solid and liquid fuel here. Hybrid here means solid and liquid fuel. So India's first hybrid sounding rocket was recently launched by private players. Which private player? It was Martin Foundation in collaboration with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam International Foundation and Space Zone India. So these people combined launched India's first hybrid sounding rocket from Pattipulam, which is in Tamil Nadu. All right, you understood? So please make a good note of it. We'll move on to the next particular important topic, which is neglected tropical diseases. Once again, let us look at the title and break down the whole title into smaller pieces. One is neglected, and the other one is tropical diseases. So we call them as tropical diseases because the high burden of these diseases can be observed in tropical and subtropical countries. Tropical and subtropical countries, such as those countries in Europe, in Asia, Africa, and countries such as Indonesia. So that's the reason these are called as tropical diseases, because they are mostly observed in tropical and subtropical countries. And why do we call them as neglected diseases? The main reason is these diseases are mostly observed in underdeveloped or developing nations. Underdeveloped or developing nations. These nations always have a larger chunk of population under poverty line. Remember, larger chunk of population under in these countries are usually below the poverty line, and hence they're not able to afford quality healthcare services. Quality healthcare services, and hence they usually neglect whenever there is a symptom, or whenever they feel that they are ill. That's the reason we call them as neglected tropical diseases. All right, so what is the context? The WHO, that is World Health Organization, recently released a report known as Global Report on Neglected Tropical Diseases 2023. It was released in the month of January 30. So why is this date significant, January 30? Because this day since 2020 has been celebrated as World National Tropical Diseases Day. It was acknowledged based on the recommendations made by United Arab Emirates. United Arab Emirates recommended in 2020 to WHO to observe January 30th as the World Neglected Tropical Diseases Day. Following this, for the first time, the World NTD Day was observed informally in the year 2020 and formally in the year 2021. All right. So if you're asked the question that asking when was the first NTD day was celebrated, then the answer should be 2020, irrespective of whether it was informal or formal. The first NTD day was observed in the year 2020. All right. So then, what do you mean by neglected tropical diseases? These are actually basically a few parasitic or bacterial infections that primarily affect people living in poverty in especially tropical and subtropical regions. This is the basic definition which you should know. So the examples for NTDs include rabies, dengue, chikungunya, Chagas disease, and human African trypanosomiasis, leprosy, trachoma, yaws, guinea worm, then lymphatic filariasis, river blindness, etc. Right? So these diseases generally receive less funding for research and treatment, unlike some famous or so-called big diseases such as HIV/AIDS, malaria, or tuberculosis. But the surprising part is 1 billion people across the world, not India, 1 billion people across the world are right now suffering from these neglected tropical diseases. This is often linked to These diseases are often linked to poor sanitation, poor sanitation and hygiene. Okay, but the good part is treatable, they are treatable and or also preventable, and hence it becomes the responsibility of each and every institution or individual or every country to raise awareness regarding these diseases. There are neglected tropical diseases. So things which we understood about NTDs include, first one is on January 30th, World NTD Day was celebrated or is being celebrated starting from 2020. It was celebrated based on the recommendations of United Arab Emirates. So these are called as neglected tropical diseases because they are observed mostly in people who are below the poverty line in tropical and subtropical diseases. Right now, 1 billion people across the world are suffering from these kind of diseases. These are usually linked to poor sanitation and hygiene, and luckily, these are preventable and treatable. All right. Next, rare diseases. We understood what is neglected tropical diseases. Then, what about rare diseases? Rare diseases are those diseases which are very rare in nature, very rare in nature, like common cold and flu. These diseases affect only a few people. So, as per WHO, disease can be classified as rare disease if it affects one in every 10,000 or 20,000. If one in 10,000 or 20,000 people uh, is or are affected by a particular kind of disease which is not so common, then it is called as rare diseases. These are mostly genetic in nature. Please remember, these are mostly genetic in nature, which means genetically these diseases can be transferred from the parents to their offsprings. So in this regard, the government of India in 2020 framed a policy, 2021 framed a policy called as National Policy of Rare Diseases. So it has recently been the subject of criticism from various Rajya Sabha members who say that no patient with a rare condition has benefited from this policy so far. However, it was launched in the year 2021, aimed at helping all those people who are suffering from rare diseases in India. The main aim is to reduce the price of treating these rare diseases. Yes, there is treatments are available, but the prices are very high because these are very rare diseases, and hence hospitals charge hefty fees to treat these patients. As a result, under this policy, government actually aims to bring down the price of treating these rare diseases to a unimaginable low category kind of diseases. So the examples include thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, ataxia, lysosomal storage disorder, congenital insensitivity to pain, that is rarest of rare, acquired aplastic anemia, muscular dystrophy, multiple sclerosis, sweet syndrome. These are all rare diseases which are observed or which are diagnosed very rarely in patients across the world, including India. So, what about the national policy on rare diseases? What are the highlights or key highlights of this policy? See, first one is just like I told, it aims at lowering the incidence and prevalence of rare diseases through a comprehensive preventive strategy. The second most important point is the rare diseases have been identified and categorized into three different groups: Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. They are one time curative treatment. Under Group 1, all those diseases which involve one time curative treatment are included. In the second group, we have long term or lifelong treatment needed diseases. And under the third category or third group, we have very high cost and lifelong therapy needed diseases. All right. So there are around 7,000 to 8,000 rare diseases. There are around 7,000 to 8,000 rare diseases of prevalent or present across the world. And please remember, make a correction. WHO has classified all those diseases which are observed in 1 out of 1,000 people or 2,000 people. It's not 10,000 or 20,000. It's 1,000 or 2,000. Such diseases can be classified as rare diseases. Next, a summit was held, REAIM Summit. So the question with respect to this particular topic can be framed in this manner. The recently held summit REAIM is concerned with or is about. It's about this responsible use of artificial intelligence, the responsible use of artificial intelligence in the military. Yes, like uh, like you all know, in recent past, artificial intelligence is everywhere, starting from preparing your bed to going back to bed. So every day since you get up till you go to your bed, AI is or has been an integral part of our lives. But it becomes concerning or problematic when this AI is used for military purposes, because this becomes a deadly weapon in the wrong hands. For example, in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, which started on February 24th of 2022, which is ongoing, Russia actually resorted to many AI-based weapons, including drone-based weapons. As a result, uh, many lives were lost in Ukraine, and many buildings were destroyed by Russian drones and flights or unmanned aerial vehicles. So, and during that time, concerns or tensions or fear related to AI was brought to the forefront. So, because of this, REAIM Summit has once again assured the world leaders that henceforth these AI-based, AI-based weapons or AI-based things in military shall be used responsibly. And ultimately, the main objective of REAIM Summit was to promote or encourage people to use AI responsibly in military at least. So, REAIM Summit is concerned with use of AI in military. Please note this down. More than 80 government delegations, including those from US and China, had taken part in this summit. Please note down that the summit did not include India as a participant. So, India did not attend this summit. This shall be a potential statement for your prelims exam. So, the question can be asked in two ways. REAIM summit is concerned with or is related to what? First question. Second question, did India attend this summit or was India part of this summit? So please remember, India is not a part of REAIM summit. All right. So and the one more thing is, it was hosted or the summit was held in the Hague, which is located in the Netherlands. Please remember, the host country for 2023 REAIM summit was Hague, which is located in Netherlands. All right. Next, recently lithium deposits were found in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, which is very very significant because lithium is called as life changing, or even sometimes it is referred to as the Cinderella element. It is called so because its value or it was not so much recognized until 1980s, but with the development of technology in late 80s and early 90s, it altogether received a renewed push and respect and value. So as a result, we call it as a Cinderella element. It is very much in demand in recent past, especially post COVID-19. So you can find lithium in most of the latest technologies in the form of lithium-ion batteries, starting from your mobile batteries till your car batteries. Everywhere you can find lithium. So this is a very significant development for India because lithium deposits are now available in India in large amounts. Uh, as per the reports, around 5.9 million tons of lithium has been located in India. Following this, there was also another news article which said lithium might be present in Karnataka, a district named as Mandya is there. So there were some speculation that even lithium deposits can be found here in Mandya district of Karnataka. But however, the research is going on. The findings are still not out yet. So only once they're confirmed, we can talk about that. But right now, lithium deposits in India are confirmed from the UT of Jammu and Kashmir. The inferred resources amount to 5.9 million tons. So following this, Chile, which is the largest lithium resource holder in the world, has proposed to or has come in support of India to transfer the required technologies which are very much needed to mine lithium from the deposits. All right. So basically, if you ask me, lithium is a chemical element. Its symbol is Li, and the atomic number of lithium is number 3. So it's a chemical element which is actually very soft silver white metal, and it belongs to alkali metal groups. Alkali metal groups. Okay. So it is also said to be the lightest metal, latest metal, and please remember this point. It is also the least dense solid element. It is also said to be the least dense solid element. Okay. So the reason for it to be in high demands is that it has got high electrochemical potential, and this high electrochemical potential makes it an important material for the use in batteries. All right. Okay. So next we have something called as a lithium triangle. Lithium triangle includes world's top three lithium producing countries, which is Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia. All are South American countries. Please note down Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia. All are the South American American countries, and all three together are called as the lithium triangle. It is a very important point. Please note it down. And apart from that, lithium can be found in, just like I said, Chile, Argentina, Bolivia, and apart from that, India, China, and Australia too have enough or significant resources of lithium in the world. Right. Next is about Ahom burial mounds, which are located in Assam. Recently, what happened? The Charaideo Maidams in Assam were, proposed for the inclusion under World UNESCO Heritage Sites by the center. So, for 2023, India has proposed only this site or these sites located in the state of Assam. They are called as home burial mounds, popularly. Their general name is Charaideo Maidams, which are located in Assam. Right. So this becomes significant because there is currently no a single World Heritage Site in the category of cultural heritage in Northeast India. I repeat, right now there is not even a single Heritage Site in the category of cultural heritage sites in Northeastern India, and therefore the nomination of these Maidams or these burial mounds has attained significance because the country was celebrating the 400th birth anniversary of birth anniversary of Lachit Lachit Borpu Lachit Borpu Khan, who is remembered for his famous battle, which is called as Battle of Saraighat, which took place in the year 1671. In this battle, Lachit was able to successfully save his land from the Mughals. He, along with his team, succeeded in defending or in defeating Mughals and ultimately save their lands. Right. So then, what then are Charaideo Maidams? These are the Ahom equivalent of pyramids of ancient Egypt. So they belong to Thai Ahom community of Assam's late medieval mound burial practice. These are actually a kind of burial practice. Kings and queens, the remains of kings and queens were buried under these mounds. So it was in practice from 13th to late 19th century. Usually, the members of the royal family's mortal bones, which were previously interred alongside their personal effects, were preserved and buried under these burial mounds. All right. So this is a very significant development for India. So once they are recognized, officially recognized by the UNESCO, they enter into the UNESCO World Heritage Sites list. So in the comment section below, please tell me how many how many UNESCO World Heritage Sites are there in India, and which country in the whole world has got the highest number of World Heritage Sites? Which country in the whole world has got the highest number of World Heritage Sites in India, in the whole world? Right. So that was it about Ahom burial mounds. Next, we have something called as National Digital University. So please remember, it was envisioned under the National Education Policy of 2020. As per this policy, it was the responsibility of the central government to set up a national digital university to take the education to doorsteps at all villages in India to deliver the last mile connectivity with respect to the learning or education specifically. So this was mentioned under the National Education Policy of 2020. As per this, the central government in its budget announced in its budget of 2022 and 23 announced the establishment of Digital University for India. It basically provides access to all those students for world class, high quality, universal education even with personalized learning experiences at their doorsteps. So this is very significant. And the next important point is the government aims to provide this education using its portal known as Swayam portal. Swayam portal. SWAYAM here stands for Study Webs of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Minds. I repeat, SWAYAM here stands for Study Webs of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Minds. Right? And uh, the IT and administrative services and technical knowledge will be provided through government's Samarth portal. Right? This was with respect to National Digital University. And next we have an article on mitochondrial DNA profiling. So on with respect to some context, it was in news. But from examinations point of view, we need to understand what is DNA profiling or what is mitochondrial DNA profiling. So basically, mitochondrial DNA profiling is a way of figuring out who someone is just by looking at tiny pieces of DNA in their body. So this DNA can be extracted from the mitochondria. Our body has tiny structures called as mitochondria that help us make energy. So these mitochondria have their own DNA, and using this DNA, a person can be identified or can be associated with his family members. And please remember, mitochondrial DNA is different from the DNA of the rest of the body. So the DNA in our rest of body is completely different from mitochondrial DNA. What scientists usually do is they take a tiny piece of someone's hair or nail or a little bit of their blood and look at the DNA in their mitochondria to figure out who actually they are. So this is pretty much helpful when we need to identify people, such as when someone is lost or missing, or in some cases forensic investigations to solve various crimes. Right. So next is about solitary waves. The Martian magnetosphere has been shown for the first time to exhibit discrete electric field fluctuations, which are also called as solitary waves. See, on Earth, it is very difficult to figure out these waves or observe these waves because Earth has got its own strong magnetic field. Its own strong magnetic field. Whereas Mars has got a very weak, low magnetic field around it. So, therefore, that's the reason solitary waves were recently observed on Mars. So, what exactly are solitary waves? Please remember, these are also called as solitons. These are waves that behave in a very interesting and in an unusual way. Imagine throwing a pebble into a pond of water. Here, there is a pond of water. Imagine if you throw a pebble in this water, don't you observe a particular pattern of waves being generated surrounding this pebble? These are called as ripples that form on the surface of the water. These ripples, what do they do? They move outward in all directions, and eventually what they do is they disappear. Now imagine, instead of disappearing, if this if these rippled moved continuously without any stop, then those waves become solitary waves, which means they they exhibit a uniform or a similar nature across time and space. Those are called as solitary waves. All right. So the study of these waves is essential because wave particle interactions directly regulate the particle energization, plasma loss, and transport, etc. So since Earth is a massive magnet, and the magnetic field it generates usually shields us from the solar wind, which is the sun's continual emission of high speed charged particles. However, compared to Earth, Mars does not have an intrinsic magnetic field like the Earth does. As a result, the high speed solar wind can directly interact with the atmosphere of Mars. Alright, so this is about the solitary waves. Next, we have trans fat, an article related to trans fat. So, what are these? See, basically, trans fats are created by adding hydrogen to liquid vegetable oils. Liquid vegetable oils. Why are they added? To increase the shelf life of these oils, to increase the shelf life of these oils. So they are most commonly found in processed foods. They are most commonly found in processed foods such as burger, French fries, chicken bucket, pizzas, donuts, or cookies, or even popcorn, etc. But the concern is that these trans fats in large amount are not at all good for human health. They increase, the risk of heart disease, stroke, and even type 2 diabetes. Right? Some countries such as Denmark and Switzerland, Denmark and Switzerland have completely banned the usage of these kind of trans fatty acids in the processed foods. However, in India, 2 to 3% of these fats are allowed, but the requirement or condition is that on the wrapper outside, this usage should be mentioned in bold letters. So, not mentioning or not indicating would be a crime and will eventually lead to penalty. Hence, these trans fatty acids are considered to be dangerous for the human health. Right? So, WHO has time and again advocated about advocated about the the complete ban on the usage of these trans fatty acids. However, not many countries are in this favor. WTO WHO considers it to be a very dangerous trans fat. If it is consumed, it will lead to various diseases. However, as per various reports, around 5 billion people across the world are consuming trans fats in one or the other way every day. All right. Please remember one more point. Trans fats are also present naturally. So naturally they are also naturally present in some food products, but the majority are artificially created trans fats. So, right, with this, I conclude today's class. I hope it was informative. Please make sure to comment your doubts and also do not forget to share this video with your friends. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.